Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Reviews from the Clubhouse, as always brought to you by Clubhouse Films, hosted by myself, Chance McDuffie, and
Logan Solana.
all right, so special episode. This one's gonna be a little bit shorter,
Bonus.
maybe. It depends on how long we ramble.
Probably
But
a good half hour.
Logan suggested that we do a new episode, so we got 2 episodes coming for you hot this week.
Whoosh.
Nice and hot.
That's the sound effect. Whoosh.
Yeah. Ooh.
You know, it's like,
Sounds like a whip.
okay, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So,
It does
you want to
sound-
tell everybody what we're talking about
Yeah,
today?
so today we're going to talk about a bit of an older film, but
But guess what? It's our channel, so we can talk about
yeah, we can do
whatever
whatever the fuck we
wanna
want. We're doing District 9
talk about.
because, so I was perusing Netflix and District 9 popped up and I forgot how much I love that movie. And I'm like, might as well throw it on.
Yeah,
It's working.
you suggested that, and my week was kind of busy, so I didn't get to watch it until this morning because I haven't seen it in a while.
Oh, you watched it today?
So listen, I woke up at like 7:30 and I made some coffee, made some breakfast, and I started watching it. And like that movie is very heavy,
Yeah.
and it was so early in the morning. I was like, Jesus Christ! Like,
yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's so good.
should we even do non-spoilers? I mean, this movie's been out for so long.
Yeah.
So
you
I
kinda
mean,
missed your
listen, at this
chance.
point,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, it's a good movie. Go see it. That being said,
That's spoiler free.
yeah, that it's good. Just watch it. It's on
So-
Netflix. If you're still here, full spoilers if people care about that kind of stuff.
You know, you've been warned. So
Yeah.
it's directed and written by Neil, and I'm gonna mess his name up, but it's like Blomkamp.
I think that's right.
Blomkamp, yeah. Who I haven't really seen much of his work, but he's
Yeah.
a very good director. He
I've
did-
only seen this
Mhm.
and Elysium.
Yeah,
I
he
haven't
did-
seen Chappie.
Yeah, I actually saw Chappie, but those are the only 2 things that I've seen: District 9 and Chappie. Never seen Elysium or Elysium.
Oh, well, this
or
is
whatever.
fun. So you've seen one I haven't seen, and I've seen one you haven't seen.
Although I will say I did fall asleep through Chappie, but still it was very good.
I heard it was kind of meh.
You know, I remember seeing the trailer for it and like I was like, "Oh, this is going to be such a good movie." And then I got like an hour in. I don't remember the rest.
I know Hugh Jackman's the bad guy, and he's got like a weird mullet.
Or
something.
Yeah, he does. Oh my god.
What I
don't
what I
even
understand
remember
about that movie is like it's just like too many robots are bad. And that's
Right,
about
yeah,
it.
and then Chappie, who is I don't know if you know it, but like the main guy in District 9 is
Mhm.
also the
Yeah,
voice
he's
for Chappie.
yeah.
Which is really cool. I just think he likes working with him. But yeah, Sigourney Weaver's in it, and it's got a great cast.
Sigourney Weaver's in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, I'm thinking of Elysium because I was gonna say
Oh no,
Jodie Foster, but that's
Yeah.
Elysium. That movie
is that good?
pretty old. I mean, it
Yeah.
was alright.
I see. I didn't have any interest in seeing that.
It was kind of. I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time. I actually have it on Blu-ray for some reason.
Do you really?
I think I bought it on Black Friday because it was like $3. I was like, all right, sweet. This will look cool because it's on Blu-ray.
Boy, what a movie to have on Blu-ray.
That movie's
Up
like,
there it
it's
is.
so, yeah. It's so like,
You also have Superbad.
I love that movie.
Man, we gotta
yeah,
watch that.
we
one.
watched that last weekend. But from what I don't remember Elysium very well, but I think that's because there's not too much
It's
to
not very
remember from
memorable.
that movie.
Yeah. It's
But-
kind of shitty if that's the case of a movie.
It's.
but,
I mean, it's okay. I
yeah,
mean, you
it's
know,
meh.
it looks cool. I mean, they turned Matt Damon into like cyborg or whatever.
Yeah, so
He's bald.
That's what I'll say about like all of his films. Not Matt Damon, but Neil Blomkamp, whatever. All of his films are very.
Sorry, I'm trying to find a good place to set my coffee mug where it won't make noise.
You can set it on the paper.
I guess
Well, let's hear it. It's less.
it'll do.
So, hang on a second. I gotta compose myself. So all of Neil Blom. We're gonna
All right.
leave all of this in.
Wow,
So we're not editing this one at all.
quality content.
So all of his movies are they're always on like a tight budget compared to like major motion picture movies.
I know they made District 9 for like dirt cheap for the visual effects that are in that movie.
Fantastic.
They made it very cheap. Didn't it win best visuals at the Oscars that year? I think it did.
Let me see. Let's see.
But what's crazy is that Neil Blomkamp has slowly fallen off of like the radar.
So I have not seen anything from him in a long time. Like I haven't seen. Like I even looked at his IMDb, and he hasn't been doing too much. However, I did watch District 9, and then like this happened to pop up, and I showed you this. I sent you this in a text. This happened to pop up on the YouTube page. Like there was this big game called Anthem that came out.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's like it's basically just like I don't know. I haven't played it, but from what I can understand, you're basically Iron Man, and you like walk around in this metal suit. And
Iron
blow
Man,
shit
you
up.
say?
Yeah. So he directed this short film that's supposed to be in that world.
I think I saw a trailer because I was at Roosters last night.
Yeah.
And I think I saw a trailer for Anthem, and I just thought that it was some DLC for that game Destiny. You know, because it kind of looks the same.
They do. Aren't they? Maybe they're done by the same people.
Yeah, it just looked like that to me, so I kind of dismissed it. So I didn't actually know that.
See, I've never played Destiny, so
I mean, I got it as a gift. I played it for 20 minutes, and I haven't played it since.
So Destiny, if you want to sponsor the show, let us know.
Yeah. I don't know if your game is good or not, but we could use some sponsors.
Oh my gosh. So District 9, it's a great movie. So the whole premise is basically there's this guy. His name is Vicus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to attempt
It
to
takes
pronounce
place in Johannesburg. I don't know if that's a good South African accent.
So I've always said that I can do like any accent that I want to do, but like the South African accent is like the hardest one. I can never do it.
What is it? Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis, cuttlefish.
That's about it. Yeah, but yeah, he plays Vicus, and Vicus. So essentially, there is this giant alien spaceship that comes to Earth, and it hovers over Johannesburg in South Africa, and no one knows why it came there. No one knows how it got there, but it just hovered there, and they said it took them like 3 months before they could get inside the spaceship. And when they did get inside the spaceship, there were just all of these aliens just hanging out in there, and they were all malnourished and starving, and then eventually they set up like a humanitarian plan for them and like a relief effort, and they set up all these camps, and now it's 10 years later, I think.
It's 20 years.
20 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And now the aliens are living in basically this slum.
It's like a ghetto.
Yeah.
It's all very...
It's not very good.
It's all very like metaphorical and all that, but I can't remember what the government agency is called.
Yeah, me neither.
That Vicus works for, but essentially they're trying to like evict these aliens. I think what are they called? Scourge?
They call them the prawns.
What am I getting Scourge from?
I have no clue.
Anyway,
they call them prawns. Which kind of mean.
Yeah, so the military is just trying to move all these prawns from like the ghetto and their shacks and those slums to this living, like this camp, but it's really like a concentration camp.
Right.
It's
not good.
It's shitty. Yeah. So, what I liked about this is how it feels like almost like a documentary. How they're just following them.
It's shot. Very much like it.
The first half is very much shot like that, and just showing them go through District 9 and these convoys and serving papers and trying to evict these people. And I thought it was very interesting that for some reason only like the worker bees, if you will, of this alien species were on the ground, because some of them are more intelligent than others. Mm-hmm. And are there are all of them on the ground, or are there some still on the ship?
See, I always thought that they were just all on the ground. That like it was. They said that there were like 1 million or 3 million of the aliens that were on the ship, and then they moved them all collectively to the ground, and then they started like growing as a population. So I always thought that it was just the aliens living there that were on the ship. And we're going to take a quick pause while Chance walks away and does something. Oh, his ear is itching, so he's got a Q-tip now, and he's jamming it really far in his ear. Guys, if you don't know this, Q-tips are not meant for the ears.
Sorry, I've been using my brain so much.
That's bullshit. He never uses that thing. Right?
I don't even have a brain.
Yeah.
I'm like the Tin Man. You know, I've never seen The Wizard of Oz.
Because join us next week for a review of The Wizard
They look like men in fucking monkey suits. Like, they look freaky.
They are.
I know, but it doesn't. It looks so bad that it freaks me out. It's just scary. It's more scary than anything.
It's so funny.
I get that they're supposed to be scary, but I don't think they're supposed to be that scary.
So cute.
No, it wasn't cute.
Pinch your cheeks.
I didn't like it at all.
No.
Anyway, District 9.
Yeah, District 9. Really good movie. I can't even tell you how much I love it. I think he's a great director, and I think the guy who plays Vicus, he's such an underrated actor. He hasn't done like very many things.
He's in that really shitty
A-Team movie, which I just looked that up today because I wanted to see how I was in it. I can't believe.
What's crazy? Mahershala Ali was pretty much, it was almost a done deal for him to play B.A.
Really?
Like Mr. T's character.
And he didn't play it?
He dodged a motherfucking bullet with that movie. They cast up.
Yeah, I was going to say, who did play him? I don't know, I'm going to look him up right now.
Is it Rampage Jackson? I know he's a MMA fighter. I can't remember his name.
No, well, there's your first problem. A lot of, just like, so many fucking people try to make the jump from professional fighting and boxing and stuff like that, and it just never works. Like, I hate Wayne Johnson. I don't think he can act.
Man. I think he's good.
He's got his moments.
He's not a great actor by any means, but he is a good actor.
Quentin Rampage Jackson. He's been in.
Do you like
pretty much nothing
Dave
else.
Bautista?
I do like Dave Bautista.
I think I was watching something earlier and it was comparing The Rock to Bautista, and The Rock is definitely a better actor than Bautista. But what they were saying is that Bautista has covered more ground than The Rock has.
Yeah,
like in the amount of time that they have both been, like when the Rock was not as good as Bautista is as early into his transition into film, which I agree with. Like, Bautista hasn't been acting professionally for very long, but he's very good for where he is.
Yeah.
To where, like, The Rock is good where he is now, but it took a while for him to get to where he is right now. And I definitely think, like, Bautista's getting better and better and better and better.
I do,
and I do think he will be better than The Rock eventually. Because, like, I mean, Blade Runner 2049, he's in that movie for, 10 minutes, and he's amazing in that movie.
I haven't seen it.
In the beginning of that movie.
Dwayne Johnson or
Batista. Batista's in that movie for, 20 minutes.
Or,
it's more like 10. But, 10 to 12. But his scene with Gosling is pretty good.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like,
he was also in that movie, like the Hotel one or something like that, or
Hotel.
I don't know.
Holiday Inn.
Yeah, the Holiday. Yeah, he was at the Holiday Inn. Yeah.
Motel.
I don't know. I can't remember what it was.
The hotel movie.
So District 9,
great
movie. What the fuck? Who just gets sidetracked?
But yeah, and I really liked Vicus because even as he was becoming, so he gets sprayed by that black stuff,
which I could never figure out what it was. I think it's like ink
fluid.
Yeah, I think it's essentially what it's supposed to be is like fuel for the ship.
That's so crazy that if you spray a human with fuel, that's like us dousing someone with gasoline and then they become human. like what the fuck is that?
Wouldn't they become like the ship?
Like, I feel like so strange, but
they would transform into a ship.
Yeah, so like the lead alien guy, he's really smart, and he's been collecting all this fluid for 10 years.
Is his name?
Yeah, he's collecting all this fluid, and to power the ship that dropped out of the mothership, so they could go back to the ship and go home. And as Vicus is serving these eviction notices, he stumbles upon this little battery thing with fuel in it. It sprays him in the face, and then he slowly becomes one of these aliens.
Yeah.
The government does tests on him because what the government's really after is all the alien weapons and all the alien tech, but all the alien tech can only be used by alien biometrics,
which is so interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So like you can't use it unless you're one of these aliens, and now that Vicus is half man, half alien, they experiment on him and make him blow up dead pigs and then they make him blow up one of the aliens. But he genuinely didn't want to.
Right, yeah, they were tasing his arm so that he would pull the trigger, which is such a fucking shitty thing to do.
Yeah, like I was talking about this the other day.
Yeah, what's up?
Human beings, like we as a species, we're not shit. When you just look at the things that we have done and that we continue to do to each other, it's insane. Yeah, like we're just really not shit. Like we're not at all. But yeah. And then I liked, like, at the end he actually made that choice to hold off. Okay, I'm skipping all over the place with this movie. But like he gets out of containment and he gets back to District 9 and he meets back up with Christopher. Christopher's like, "Hey man, where's my black liquid
Yeah, he
stuff?"
says it just like that too.
Yeah, he's like, "Where's my shit, bro? I needed it to go home." And then he's like, "Oh, they have it back at the base." He's like, "Fuck!" So they go back.
They gotta break back in.
They get it. Vicus is a lethal weapon now.
Yeah, they start killing people
because he can use alien weapons, and he's zapping people, and they're blowing up everywhere. Their intestines are flying all over the place.
It's graphic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I was happy because I was like, "Yeah, fuck those dudes." Cause
they're a piece of shit. They're garbage, man.
So he blows up some South Africans, and then they get back the black goo, and then
the gasoline.
They get back. Christopher has a son, by the way. He's a little guy,
little cute little guy.
By the end, Vicus gets in this giant mechanized tank thing.
Yes. So the whole thing is like they're also being pursued by, after they bust in, they're being pursued by this like top bounty hunter guy, right? So he's like chasing them all. Yeah, so they're chasing them all over Johannesburg and they're blowing shit up. And Christopher says like, "I can fix you and turn you back into a human, and I can reverse all of this." And Vicus is always obviously like, "Well, hell yeah, I want that," because like they're on this whole manhunt for him, and they've slandered his name, and they've basically been saying like, "Oh, this guy's had sex with aliens," and they're making him look like he's this criminal and this terrible person.
They blackmailed him.
Yeah. So Christopher says, "I can transform you back," but he ultimately tells him, "I have to save my people first." So he says, "I have to go home, get help." Is there anyone
left on his planet?
I don't know. They never.
It'd be very stupid if their entire species just got on that ship and then came to Earth and fucking broke down.
There was supposed to be a sequel called District 10, but it like never happened. Because at the end of the film, I'll go back, but at the end of the film, they say all the aliens have been moved to a new facility called District 10, and
Vicus is full on.
So
alien
yeah, he basically says, I can save you and transform you back. I got to go home first, and I got to save my people, but it's going to take me 3.5 years. And Vicus is like freaking the fuck out. He's like, no way.
It's 3 fucking years, man.
See, it's so hard to
literally
do.
what he sounds like.
It is. Oh my gosh. So
I remember hang on. I'm sorry. I have to tell this story.
Yeah. Let me
remember in middle school, I was really into dubstep. And I remember this dubstep, and it started with like when he's with the kid, he's like, "It's the Sweetie Man," and it said that, and a fucking beat would drop. Oh man! So every time I watch this movie, I hear it's the Sweetie Man. I just think of that shit. It's so funny, man. It takes me back. Like this morning, I was watching it. He's like, "It's the Sweetie Man." I was like, "Aha!" Because like he's trying to lure Christopher's little son out with some candy. Because Christopher's actually smart, so he read the papers. He's like, "You're trying to evict me, and it says I have a 24-hour notice. This is illegal." He's like, "Oh, you're a smart alien, huh? Well, then, fuck you. We're going to take your son. We're going to take your son because these living conditions are dangerous. So either you sign the papers or we take your son," which is still illegal, by the way.
I still can't get over the Sweetie Man thing.
So he goes in. He's like, "It's the Sweetie Man." And I love that shit, man. That shit is hilarious to me.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I don't know why.
That's what this video should be called.
It's the Sweetie Man. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Review of It's the Sweetie Man.
Oh fuck, that was
All right, District 9.
I can't go on.
District 9. Here,
all right, what would you?
I'll carry the torch.
You know what? I just realized, like, we just did the Marvel movies. We forgot to rate all of them.
We're recording part 2 of the MCU right after this, so.
Oh my god.
I mean,
we can do it at the end of part 2.
I feel like we don't even need to rate them. We spoke strongly enough on them.
I think so too. So I hope you enjoyed this fun little review.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you don't, screw you. Do your own podcast. No, I'm kidding.
This might get unreleased. You never know.
Oh, but yeah, you got anything else? I think
I
really like this movie.
I think we covered it.
I really like this movie.
Just went off the rails.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
We're new at this, so.
Yeah.
Bear with us.
Yeah, all sins forgiven.
Yeah. Oh, so I think that's it.
If we release this episode, we're now on iTunes and Spotify and
iTunes, Spotify, the YouTube, we're on the Google Play Store.
You just called it the YouTube. You're old.
Oh yeah, man.
I can't. This is shit.
You know what? I think we're gonna wrap this up. So yeah, guys, thanks for having us here. Check us out on social media. Thanks for having us. Check us out on social media. Once again, you can check out our videos on iTunes, Spotify, the YouTube, the Google Play Store. I think that's it. Oh, and the website, clubhousefilms.net. We got plenty of platforms. Check us out. Thanks for listening. Adios.